Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, it's going to be a little bit different to my other videos because it's a Q&A, and I put it out there on my Instagram, Threads, YouTube channel, and even Facebook actually. If you guys got any questions for me, drop it in the comments and I'll be answering them. So today is the day I am going to be answering your questions. Let's jump right in. First one is, how often do you ride your bike? I do try and ride it at least once or twice a week. It's a little bit difficult for me because I do work 6 days a week, so Saturdays are usually my riding days, but sometimes I take a day holiday in a week, so I got 2 days to ride. So this is when we'd usually go away to Bike Park Wales and do 2 days there, or go one place and then go to another place. And on top of those, I try to ride after work most days as well. Next question we got is, where are you from? Originally, I'm from Hungary. I lived in England since I was 14, so I think that brings us to 17 years. It's a long time. And out of the 17 years, I spent 13 in Norwich. I love it there, but it was nice to move out. And then after I moved from Norwich, I lived all over the place. The next question, Twisted Oaks or Phoenix? I love them both, but because I prefer dirt jumps and Phoenix is just so much better for dirt jumps than it is at Twisted Oaks. I'm not going to lie to you guys though, I am so excited for the new lines at Twisted Oaks. I am literally like, when is it going to be open? The next question is, how tall are you and what frame size do you ride? I'm 5'8" and I ride a medium frame size with 27-inch wheels. I run medium across all my bikes, so any bike I ever bought, they were all mediums. I think most companies I would be on the verge of medium and large, but I prefer running a smaller bike, so I'm always going to go for the medium option. Next question is, how does it feel to have bigger balls than most blokes when it comes to jumping? I don't think, I want to say I don't think it comes down to ball. And like, okay, I've done a tabletop in similar size, so a gap in similar size will be absolutely fine. And the more you sort of do the jumps, so the more you practice, I think with jumping it's very important to do it as often as you can, because otherwise I feel like if I had a couple of weeks off riding and then I go back, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't even ride my bike. It's just, so you just have to be flowing constantly, so it's good to be on the bike all the time. But I guess to the question, it is pretty cool. The next question, when's the big bike going to be finished? So if some of you are following me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or anywhere else, or maybe even on my shorts, you would have seen that I've dropped a few hints to say that there is a new bike build coming soon. It's going to be very pink. It is literally my dream bike, and this bike build is so important to me. So it is coming really soon. So hopefully there will be some filming of the build in the next sort of 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks time. All of my bits are finished apart from some anodizing, and when that is done, you guys will sure to know about it because I'll be just dropping some hints, and I am super excited about this build. The next question is, favorite bike brand? I know it's going to sound quite biased, but it's going to be Polygon for me, because that frame, so I've had the T7 and I've got the T8, so these are the Siskiyou T7, T8. I had both of them in a medium with 27-inch wheels, and they are literally the perfect all-around bike. Like, the geometry on it is just, it just feels right, and the bike handles like dirt jumps as well as it handles like the Alps or Dovey. It is literally, if I could only have one bike, that would be it. And I remember when I sold my T7, I literally, I was in tears. I was just like, I just don't want to sell this bike because I really love it, but really needed build a bigger bike in order to go to places. Well, this is actually is quite funny because I thought I needed to build a bigger bike to be able to go to all these different places like the Alps or Dovey. But when I got my T8, turns out you don't actually need a bigger bike than that, because that bike is perfect. So for me, it is going to be definitely Polygon. Next question, will you come to Kingston, Jamaica to film? It's not been on my plans. I'd love to go on holiday, but it's how things are at the minute. I don't think that is in the plans. I'm not going to say no, because who knows, but for now, probably not. The next question is, do you plan to go to the US or Canada to the iconic riding locations? I would love to go to Canada, so Whistler is definitely on my bucket list of places to visit. That would literally be the dreams, to be able to go to Whistler. The Alps was already amazing, and I just can't imagine how much more amazing Whistler could be. I don't actually know much of the iconic US riding spots, so if you guys got some spots you think I should visit, then comment them down below, and maybe sometime in the future we'll plan an ultimate US Canada road trip mountain bike awesomeness. I had a couple of questions. I'm going to read both of them out. How do you manage fear? You usually send features of considerable sizes. I've never seen you display fear on any of your videos. And then the other one is, how do you overcome fear when approaching a new jump, drop, or have not completed before? So the answer to both of these is, I will never try a feature unless I am 100% sure that I can do it, or I am 100% sure or committed of doing this feature, because otherwise I found early on when I started riding, if you're not 100% committed to a feature or a jump or anything, that's when things go wrong. So for me, I always find that if I look at a jump I've never seen before, I'll look at it from all angles, like, okay, that looks all right, landing looks all right, takeoff looks all right, you know, there's smooth, there's no bumps, there's nothing, you know. Look at the angle of the takeoff to sort of evaluate how it will feel, you know, compared to the bike and stuff. I often like watching other people do it, so I'll watch them from the side, sometimes from behind, and just sort of get an idea of what the jump will do. And from then I will sort of say to myself, like, okay, are you up for this today? Like, are you 100% up for this? And if the answer is yes, then I'll just go warm up, and then, you know, get my mind off it, just stop thinking about it. And then once I'm warmed up and I feel ready, I'm like, okay, let's go. I'll either follow someone in, or I'll get someone to just sort of stand to the side. I don't often do run-ups to features, so you'll never see me go in and run up, stop on the lip, and be like, oh yeah, that's what the speed feels like. That doesn't happen very often. Very occasionally I'll do that, but not often. So if you watched my videos about doing Enter the Dragon, so that one, because they're tabletops, you can get away with that. So what I did on the video is I jumped the first three, you just kind of have to go for it because they're gaps, and if you're not 100% committed, they are ugly. Like, I think it was one of the first few goes I've done them. So there's a gap, and then there's two sort of step down shark fins. I think on the second step down shark fin, I kind of sort of brake checked just before hitting it, and I cased it real bad, and that was so uncomfortable. So at that point I was like, okay, so this is the worst that can happen. So just don't dab the brake and just go for it. So so afterwards, when I went up to the big table, because it's a table, you can just roll up the lip and then just sort of plop on top, right? So with tables you can do that, but with gap jumps obviously you can't. So when you're going in for a gap jump of that size, you probably just want to have a word with yourself, like, are you ready for this? are you 100% sure you want to do this? Because when things get fast and there is a gap involved, chances are, if you're thinking and dab a break, you're probably not going to be very comfortable. So it's very much like yes or no. So really good example is if you've watched my video about doing the whale tail at Phoenix. So for those gap jumps, especially the racer, there is no and an ahhing about it. Like, I have seen people be able to stop on the lip. I'm not very good at that, so I'm not going to do that. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And then you could see that I'm intentionally pulling off to the side and not hitting the lip going into the whale tail. And that is because I was like, I am not ready to hit that yet. I need to get the racer first and get it nice and know that I can do that nice. And then when I'm ready, I'm intentionally looking and doing the next jump. I feel like commitment is very important when you're trying new features. I will do a complete video about how to overcome a new feature, or how my process is, because some people, I mean, I hope it will help at least one person of how I think about doing new features, or how I ride somewhere I've never rode before, and how I get myself into the mindset of like, okay, well, these are big, but we're going to do it today. So there will be a video coming, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, and you'll be notified when they come out. Next question is, have you ever tried road riding on gravel? Yes, I have. I had a gravel bike until it got stolen. I mainly used it to commute to and from work though, so it wasn't really much gravel riding to it. I also have a fat bike, which I will get back to on some other videos, so stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and you'll see some fat bike action. Love to try more gravel riding actually, because it does seem fun, but road bikes genuinely terrify me. I just, that is the one thing I just can't get my head around, is to ride on the road when people are driving past in cars. Like, that is just so scary. I just no, not for me. Definitely road bikes are definitely not for me. Gravel, I might give it a go just because it looks kind of fun. Next question is, how old are you? I'm 31. Not the youngest. I've started mountain biking when I was 28. So I've been trying to ride a bike for about 3 years now. Please tell me you're single. No, unfortunately, I'm not single. Well, unfortunately for you. The most popular question I got asked is how I got into riding bikes. After the first lockdown, I started dating a guy, and he had this mountain bike in his hallway. And I was just like, one day I was like, well, what's that thing? Like, you didn't use it to commute to work. What is it doing there? And then he was like, oh yeah, so this is a thing. It's called mountain biking. It's a hobby. We do some crazy shit in the woods. Like, we go down steep stuff. And I was just like, okay, tell me more. Like, this sounds fun. I come from a background of horse riding, so for me, anything outdoorsy and sketchy stuff sounds like fun. So I was just like, oh, okay, tell me more. So what he did next was put this Brendan Semenuk edit on the TV. I am going to link it at the end screen for you guys if you haven't seen it, but it's called One Shot, Brendan Semenuk's Unreal Segment. So this was published like 8 years ago, and it will be at the end screen, so make sure you guys click on it. And everything about that edit was just like, oh my god, like, what is this? I need to get me some of that. Like, at the time I was watching this edit, I never thought I'd be doing jumps or anything like that, but I was just like so taken by how what you can do on a bike. It was just like, it was like a revelation, I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, that is the reason why we are where we are today, on the mountain bikes doing jumps, is thanks to Brendan Semenuk and his edit, which is absolutely sick, and I will continue to watch it every so often I'll just click on it and just yeah, it's just amazing. So it will be at the end screen, so make sure you guys click it and have a watch, because it is, for me, I think that is the sickest edit I've ever seen in my life. That is it, all your questions answered. So if you have any more questions, then make sure to put them in the comments below, and I will either reply in the comments or I'll do another video. We'll see. If there's a lot of questions, we'll do another video. If there isn't that many, I'll just reply to you individually. So yeah, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and turn on the notifications so you'll be notified when the next video is out. In the next one, bye!